Good afternoon, everyone. Our Earth has turned into water world on one half and drought on the other half. What is going on? Galactic cosmic rays or something else responsible for this flip that we're seeing affecting humanity? Let's take a look at it. And some common sense here prevailing in Spain. If you cut the vegetation along your riverbank, you will be fined 300,000 euro. Towns that do that. They were worried about scenes like this. Remember the floods coming out of Valencia and further up the rivers? Rewind into the past where you see dark blue, 25 inches of rain in a day. Fast forward to Barcelona, a month of rain in an hour. Same area, I could not believe it. A second Dana storm on the 13th comes rolling in. Now how much rain can fall in one single area? Malaga also needs to open the dams full throttle to prevent overtopping. And as expected, massive floods washing away bridges, cars, infrastructure. Going to take billions to repair this. Yet another storm. Still shot here from the Civil Interior Ministry. And in Benacario de Castillo province, people understood, get your cars out of the underground parking garages or they will be flooded and a total loss. People trying to escape with their goods. Once the floods come or fires, you have nothing. And a look at the beaches after the storm here. An incredible amount of debris floating up, and you can see the waves coming in, and where the edge of the beach is or was. It's going to take a fair bit to clean that out. You know how tenacious underbrush is when it gets squeezed together and smashed by floods. And I guess this would be it. A week of rain across Spain, October 29th to November 4th. That was the first initial storm. Now the reason I bring this to you is bottom left near Cartaya. That's where Almeria is, and all the greenhouses still have not been repaired. Massive vegetable price increases across Europe, especially the UK. And these floods are really starting to dent into some of the food production here. We could look at South Sudan. Take a look at 2018 compared to, fast forward, repeat 2022, 2024, where these areas are filling up on the border with Ethiopia. This is the basin of a mega lake prior. And you would think, are their crops lost? Of course. And people have to move. World Food Program putting the information out about this one. A repeat flooding area. Jumping over to Yemen, damage almost all agricultural lands, farms, crops. They lost 85% of agricultural lands due to flooding. Imagine what that'll do to food prices in an area already stretched by poverty, war, and incredibly high food prices. Not good for anybody. Over to Sardinia, same thing. Month worth of rain in a day. Now they were a little bit better to handle some of the flood control. More mountainous as this water went down. A fair few videos floating around. No pun intended, but the water has to go somewhere. If you're suffering from daily aches and pains, listen closely. Top medical experts have unveiled a natural pain reliever that is changing the way Americans fight pain. 100% drug-free. Canalidine. Canalidine is the only solution in the world that optimizes your body's natural painkillers called endorphins, providing full body relief without dangerous pills or known side effects. Over 1 million Americans and hundreds of professional athletes, including UFC fighters, have already embraced Canalidine's pain relief power. Best of all, Canalidine is legal worldwide, certified drug-free, and does not cause side effects, grogginess, or addiction. After 14 years of clinical research, it's been proven safe and effective, backed by thousands of successful use cases from other Americans just like you. Best of all, today you can try Canalidine for less than $1 a day. Click on that link below to try the only Canalidine product in the world, 90 days risk-free. The only thing you have to lose is your pain. And now on with the video. And another anomaly here, if you were to look at the number of storms across the Pacific, marching one after the other, Usagi just a week ago, and then Man-E, super typhoon. Here's the eye wall for you. Philippines got pounded by 5 storms in a row. So something significant seems to be happening in terms of progression of vortices and water vapor in the atmosphere. Another one, Central America, stalled tropical storm right over Honduras. That center area that almost turns white, that's above 500 millimeters. And again, you're looking at something like Spain at 25 to 30 inches coming down. This story is ongoing, so keep your eye glued to the news for that one. And as we move down to Huánuco, Peru, same thing. The streets are now the rivers when there's too much rain coming down. Dry area, by the way, not used to so much floods. Jumping over to Colombia, images here for you of what their streets look like. So I would ask you, what is happening? These streets turn into the rivers when there's nowhere else for that water to go. And the brunt of the flooding pretty much centered around Medellin. And when you put it into perspective, this is all just in the last 2 weeks or under, this massive amount of floods that are coming through and continue to grip the planet. Still, North Carolina, that has not been solved in any way, shape, or form. Still a lot of people, approximately 20,000 people unaccounted for there. That was a once in a 2,000-year event of the flood. And digging around moisture news, mushrooms. Anytime we have high humidity, high moisture, mushrooms. These are some of the most beautiful that I'd found in the photography collection coming from Central and South America. That blue one, the blue jellyfish cap, something to behold the eyes. I'm glad we have good photography these days to be able to appreciate it. And now that brings us on the trail of looking for clues as to what's happening. Hunga Tonga, 14% more moisture in the atmosphere. That can only be a percentage of this. Moving into La Nina, that can be a percentage also. But that does not explain it fully enough for what's happening across the planet. Something else is in motion here, and there has to be a few other pieces in this algorithm that are not plugged in yet. One of them that I would point you to here is Heinrich's Fensmark. Although we're at solar maximum, still we need to consider the cloud mystery and cosmic rays for cloud building. And an excellent documentary here, The Cloud Mystery. This is when Heinrich Fensmark was doing his initial research. Nobody would believe him, and he was kind of ostracized from the community until he proved it, and then suddenly he is now the world leader in understanding galactic cosmic rays in cloud chambers create cloud nuclei that then create flooding storms. We're at solar maximum, so should this be happening? These are primary cosmic rays, galactic cosmic rays, and as you see, they come in and they cascade down through the atmosphere, colliding. And as they collide, they found that there's 7 times more cloud building than originally thought. But the baffling point is solar maximum. Usually cosmic rays are at a minimum during this time. So it's almost the inverse of the normal, which makes sense only if there's other variables happening. Cloud seeding? Not sure. When we come down off this solar maximum into the solar minimum and these same conditions persist and we come down into very low solar activity when cosmic rays can come, ripping through our atmosphere again, we're going to see floods that are going to eclipse anything you've seen so far. This should occur around 2029, 2030. But before we get there, we're going to have to go through some next couple of weeks. Chilly cold ripping through the UK, parts of Europe. Here's your forecast. Advisories out, and the advisories are for power outages in 15 different cities across the UK. Now, the inverse of this is going to be drought. Nearly all of the U.S. states are facing droughts, unprecedented number. I can attest, Tennessee, very dry. Should have had far more rain. We're way under the normal now. More than 150 million people, about half the U.S., and 318 million acres of crops, which, according to the USDA, total crop coverage puts us at 340 million, which means almost all crops in the United States are distressed with drought. But looking at the U.S. Drought Monitor, it doesn't seem to have that much going on. So there's a discrepancy a little bit in the numbers, but nonetheless, a lot of drought. And the fires going along with this, one of the most dramatic photos that I've found on the ridgetop. That would be terrifying, knowing the wind was coming your direction and that was your house. Get the boat loaded or out of here. And with drought, this is Bating's Dam, Europe. The small bridge there, that's a Viking horse bridge. Hasn't been dry since the 1950s, so we see it globally. Something is happening. And for those of you in the U.S., Pyramid Lake, lithograph to the left there. So what else are we going to find in terms of ancient archaeology and history as all these extremes expose more of our past? That is the question. And we try to answer some of this on civilizationscyclex.com. Join us over there. And also Thursday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight, YouTube, Rumble, and X, Civilization Cycle for the live show, 2 hours. Hopefully you can join us there, join in the comments, and see what others are thinking about the same situations. I do appreciate you watching. Hope you got something out of the video. See you next time, and bye for now.